audiences here which are paid and Google audiences which are free. It will show you how much audience is included in this segment. Now if you think based on, for example, included audience here is 14.7 million, based on your media plan and the budget it's too much, you can go ahead and trim it and exclude some of the segments which you think are not very relevant. And it will also tell you based on the audiences we have selected, there's 69% male and female 31%. These are the age groups. It just gives you an idea about the audiences you selected, who are they, what kind of devices they use. Mobile is 65%, which is this audience you selected here, where can you find them, and where can DV360 reach to them on which devices in terms of percentages. And I go here, same way we assign the creatives again, all of them, click on apply. Conversion, we'll use again the same one and leave these settings as they are. Post view is 7 days and post click is 30 days, and that's it. So I click on create and I'm done with the audience line item. Okay, so we are done with the 2 line items. The third line item we are about to create is custom audiences. Let's quickly go. We click on new again, we click on line item, we select display. Now this is the third line item, which is custom audiences. Now custom audiences, how I'll do is, the only thing I'll change is I'll create and target custom audiences. So I go here, I go to audience list. If you see here, it will show you custom list. Now in our case, we will select custom intent. Now we will name it people who are interested in real estate, and the description would be search keywords related to real estate and competitor URLs visited. Description is optional, but you can add it for later reference if you are wondering why this particular audience was created. Now in our case, people who are looking for real estate, they search for house for sale, villa for sale, and like this you will add all the keywords you think that your prospect audiences who will be interested in buying an apartment on your website, or like leaving an inquiry, all the keywords they might search on Google. You will have to come up predict with that. It's usually, you should, if there's a search campaign running for this advertiser, you should add the keywords from that search campaign. In terms of URLs, I'll show you how to do it. For example, I go to google.com. Now I search for let's say apartments for sale. Now if you see, there are a lot of advertisers bidding on these keywords. There might be people who searched for these keywords and they clicked on these URLs or the landing pages of these competitors, which means the people who clicked on these ads and went to their websites, they are interested in buying properties, which is our audience as well. So what I'll do here is, after searching for all these keywords like apartments for sale, villas for sale, I will see who are the competitors bidding on these keywords, and I will go to each one of them and copy their relevant URLs and put it on my custom audience list URLs here. For example, in this case, it's bayut.com. I'll go here and add Bayut. Similarly, I will go to Google back and forth and collect all the competitor URLs and put it here. How it will work is, people who searched for these keywords and who went to these competitor websites, these people will be targeted in these line item because of this custom segment we created.
ইউআরএলটা কপি করে দিল, যারা ওই কিওয়ার্ড দিয়ে সার্চ করছে আর যারা ওই সাইটে গেছে তাদেরকে এর একটা দেখা কম্পিটিটরেরও लिस्ट বার করে যারা এই कीवर्ड থেকে ऐड बनाচ্ছে उन लोग का भी यूआरएल यहाँ डाल दिया। तो जो लोग कंप्यूटर का साइट में बायर लोग गया है, यूजर लोग गया है, उन लोग को भी ऐड दिखा रहा है। टारगेटिंग यहाँ पे कस्टम
based on these parameters, and I click on create.
कंप्यूटर जैसे मैं डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इंस्टीट्यूट इन कोलकाता था। तो डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इंस्टीट्यूट इन कोलकाता में देखा, मैंने NIST भी चला रहा है, ये चला, तो NIST का URL, KDMI का URL डाल दिया। जो यूज़र उन लोग का साइट में विजिट किया उसको भी मेरा ऐड दिखा है।
तो किसी भी वेबसाइट में होगा।
हाँ, कंप्यूटर का यहाँ पे टारगेट होता है, उसको टारगेट करें कस्टम लिस्ट।
And you see, once I create it will sort automatically in the targeting section here, the one we created, because people who are interested in real estate. Same thing for the dates, we will not change anything, even the budget and pacing, just the flight, and we'll make it ahead so that it
कहाँ से, यहाँ से? हाँ, OTT में भी चलेगा।
और ये जो जैसे पिकासो हो गया या फिर नेट मिरर, ऐसे ये सब में भी
ये सब तो होस्टेड नहीं है, पिकासो तो होस्टेड नहीं है,
हाँ,
तो नहीं चलेगा। जो होस्टेड ऑनलाइन है वो लोग वहाँ पे चलेगा।
serves a little bit more in the beginning. We'll change the targeting sections to maximize conversions, and that's all. We'll same way we'll upload the creatives here, and then conversion pixel, we'll select this one and click on create, and maybe we change this to 7 and 30 and click on create, and we are done with the 3 line items. The only line item pending now is the remarketing or retargeting line item. See, we have already created 3. For remarketing or retargeting, it's simple. We click on line item again here, we click on display. The only thing that will be changed is retargeting. The only thing that will be changed is we will add audience setting here, but in this case for remarketing campaigns you again select first and third party, because the data collected by the pixel is considered to be first party. So we go to first party setting here. Usually your pixel will appear here, because it says no audience available because the pixel we created is not implemented on any landing page. If it was implemented, it will appear here something like all visitors and the name of the pixel. So in that case what you do is you select that one here, you click on apply, and that's all. Your remarketing campaign is done. It will only be targeted to people who have visited our website or wherever our pixel has been placed. So that's it. You click on apply and your remarketing line item is done. You select all creatives here, you select the submission, you go 7 days and 30 days again. It's all repetitive. So I'll flight, we'll go to ahead and we'll go to maximize conversions, and that's all. So you click on create and all your line items are created. That's all about how to create line items. Now these line items will start serving and probably generate a lot of conversions. By now you guys are good to create campaigns from start to end and in the most efficient way. The new videos in this series will be about how to report, how to optimize.
अब आते हैं रिपोर्ट्स में।
Of the series DV360 tutorial, where we train you from basics to the advanced level in DV360. If you are new here, this is the 9th video of the series, so I'll put the link to the playlist where you can start from video 1 in the description below. In this video, we will talk about reporting in DV360, from how to report, how to generate reports, how we can share and schedule the reports as well. Before we start, I would like to request you guys, if you like the content of this channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. It is free and you can always change your mind, but it gives us motivation to create more and better content for you guys. In order to create any kind of reports in DV360, when you log into your DV360, you either go here on the right top corner, you see this bar chart icon, or on the left hand side you see the Insights tab here. That's where you click. Now there are two types of reports in DV360. One is reports and one is dashboards. So before we jump into each of them, I would quickly like to tell you about what a report and what a dashboard is in DV360. Guys, if you see here, there are three types of reports you can create in DV360. Now, as we know, we do reporting in any of the ad platform for mainly two reasons. One, we want to analyze for our own and we want to optimize our campaign based on the reports, or we have to present the report to our management or the client. So depending on your need for the report, you can choose any of the three types. The first one is offline. It's the traditional report we do in other ad platforms, which supports all metrics and dimensions, and you can download the report or you can send it to someone, or you can schedule a daily or a weekly report, and you can also download it in Excel, PDF and other formats. Instant reports is like a quick report, but it does not support all metrics and dimensions. For example, if you want to create a report on what URLs was my campaign served on and how many impressions and clicks, this type of report you cannot do in instant. So there are some limitations. Some of the dimensions and metrics are not available in instant report. The report can be customized to look like a table or a pie chart or any other widget, and you can play around with different drag and drop different metrics and dimensions, and you see the final report within the DV360 UI. Regarding instant reports, you cannot send it to someone as an attachment, or you cannot schedule this report. Now the third type is a dashboard. It's like a multiple instant report widgets put together. Let's say one table, one graph and one line chart. But in instant reports, you can select only one type of widget, whether it has to be a table or a bar graph. So you can say dashboard is like multiple instant reports put together, and you create a template for which you can change the dates and other filters if you regularly want to view reports in a graphical representation in a certain format. Coming back to DV360 UI, first we will try a graphical representation. It is like multiple instant reports.
Types of reports can be used.
সাইডের এগুলো লিখতে হবে।
নাহলে বুঝবে কি করে কোনটা কি। एक आदमी घुसा मेहमान बन के 4 लाख का ज्वेलरी चोरी करके भाग गया।
put together, and you create a template for which you can change the dates and other filters. If you regularly want to view reports in a graphical representation in a certain format. Coming back to DV360 UI, first we will try to create an offline report. So now in that case, as I told you, we'll click on Insights menu here and we will click on Reports. Once I click on the Reports icon, I am redirected here in the Reports tab, where you will see all your reports you have created so far. Now if you see here in Reports tab, we have two options. One is Instant Report and one is Offline Report. So first, let's create an offline report. Once I click on Offline Report, it will show me all the offline reports I have created so far. So to create a new report, I'll click on New Offline Report. Now once you click on New Offline Report, this is the page you will be redirected to, where you mention what all you need in a report. The first thing is name. Let's say I want to do a daily report, where my report should contain date, and for each date it should tell me how many impressions, clicks, CTR and leads were generated for each day. Now in the second option here, you see date range. This is where you select, for example, you can choose previous week, previous month, last 14 days, last 30 days. But if you want a certain date range, you will go to custom. For example, I'll select custom, I'll select 4th of March to 9th of April, or I can change any dates. Let's say for now I'll do done. The second option it will ask you is language formatting, so I'll select English. And the third one is if you see, it will tell you if you want to use any template. For example, if you click on here, there are predefined templates where, for example, if I select keyword, it will give me a keyword report. All the template will be automatically applied, and I just have to click on run, and that report with those certain dimensions and metrics will be selected. For example, if I select keyword here, it will automatically select impressions, billable impressions, clicks, click rate, total conversions, post conversions, but in the dimensions it will select keyword here and line item and advertiser. So dimensions is like, for example, if you go to a report, the rows you see there, for example, in our case we want to do a daily report. The rows, like each date, is called dimension, and what all you want to see against those days is called metrics. I will give you an example once we have one report, but in our case we will not select any template. I will start from basic. Now here the second option you have here is filters. Now for example, in your DV360 you have a lot of advertisers, you have a lot of insertion orders, campaigns, line items, and you want to restrict to a particular advertiser or a campaign. So you will use the filters here to tell DV360 which advertiser or insertion order or campaign you want to do the report for. For example, in our case we will do for test advertiser. We just want this report for test advertiser, and we want to generate this report, let's say, for a particular campaign. I'll just remove other options here. I'll add one more filter, which is campaign, and the campaign is test campaign. It will automatically show you all the campaigns within this advertiser you have selected. So similarly, I can choose any line item or insertion order depending on which entity I want to generate the report for. Now the second one is dimensions. I will remove everything else here, and because now we want the dimensions as date, so I will add date here as dimension. Now when you see the report, you'll only see date and the metrics, but you will have to remember that this report was generated for this particular advertiser, test advertiser and test campaign. So whatever you select in filters here, the report will be only for those entities. Now I go here, I want impressions, I want clicks, I want CTR, and I want total conversions. I do not want anything else in the reports. So this is a very simple report template. Now the next section, if you go here, is schedule. Now if you want to generate this report just for one time right now, then you can skip this. But if you want this report to run every day or every week, you can make it active here. But one thing to remember here is, for any scheduled reports, you cannot select the custom dates here, because if I select April 3 to April 9, every day it will generate the report for the same date, which does not make any sense. For example, if I want every day to generate a report for last 7 days or last 30 days, I will have to select any of these dynamic ranges, because every next day the 7-day range changes. For example, tomorrow it will include today as well. So let's select last 7 days for now. These ones are called dynamic ranges, but if you select custom, it will be a fixed date. We selected a dynamic range, so we should have an option to make this report active. So if I click on active, now I can say, okay, time zone is United Arab Emirates, Dubai, and repeat. So here I will select repeats daily and every 1 day. Now starting from, you can also start it from like now onwards, or you can say I want, for example, if your campaign is going to start on 10th next month, so you can select the 10th of next month so that the report starts generating then. But in our case, we will select today, which is 10th of April 2021, and for example, my campaign is going to run for till May 1st. So I'll select May 1st because after the campaign is finished, it doesn't make sense to generate the report every day. So here it will show you the summary that the report will run every day at 12 a.m. in Dubai until May 1st, which is the options we selected. Now delivery section, it will ask you which format do you want to attach the report as. For example, in my case, I want it CSV, so I will select CSV option here, and a file name. If you schedule this report, so every day you receive this report, in case you are receiving multiple reports, so you might name it the report attachment with something which is recognizable for you. So I'll name it test daily report for test advertiser. So you can name it anything which helps you remember this when you see this in inbox. The second option you have in the delivery section is email owner. So you can create this report for others, or you can include yourself as well. So I will say email owner, so Owais Ahmed, and whether I should receive this report as an attachment, as a CSV file, or a link. So I'll select as attachment. Now guys, what we did is we created a reporting template and we scheduled it as well. So for example, if I do not schedule it here, I do not select the active, I can go ahead and click on save and run, and I can download this report right now. But with this option, I will download it right now, as well as it will be scheduled for every day. Now in the delivery section, I have selected that this report should come with this attachment to my inbox every day, but you can also share it with people. So for example, if I add, let's say here abc@gmail.com, this email address will receive this report daily as well. This is called sharing the report. And to email, I can add a message which will be delivered in the email along with the attachment that, hi, this report is scheduled by Owais Ahmed for test advertiser for test campaign. Frequency is daily, so I should tell them you will receive this daily, and end date is until this date you will receive this report. And I can add as many email addresses as I want here, and I click on add here. So for now, what we have done is we have created a reporting template, selected a filter for which advertiser and campaign we want to generate this report. We have selected a dimension for the report and the metrics we want in the report, and then we have also scheduled this report, which is optional, so that we receive this report daily. And along with scheduling, we have also added some of the email addresses here with which this report will be shared daily. That's all about an offline report. If I click save, it will be scheduled every day, and probably from tomorrow onwards I'll receive this email. However, if I click on save and run, it will run it now and also schedule it tomorrow onwards. I will receive automatic emails. I'll click on save and run. Okay, once I click on save and run, it will tell me report saved successfully. So this is the report which we tried to generate now. So this is the report which we created just now. Now what I can do is I can download it as a CSV file if I click on this button, or I can save it to the drive. That's all about offline reporting. Now I'll click here and I'll download it to show you how the report will look like. Okay, so when I open the report, this is how it will look like. Now I told you advertiser currency cannot be removed, so my dimension is date, where I'll see date wise reports, and all the impressions, because this is a test campaign, so I added zeros, so it will all be zeros. If it was a real campaign, I'll have the number of impressions for each day, and clicks and CTR and total conversions for that day. So this metrics against which you are reporting is called the dimension of the report, and each of these metrics for which you are reporting on this dimension is called the metrics of the report. So based on how you want your report to appear, you will select the same as dimensions and metrics while creating the report. Okay, time to create a new instant report. Now for an instant report, we will again click on reports icon, and once we are here, now it will by default select instant reporting and we'll click on new instant report. Now if you click on the new instant report here, this is the tab you will see. For example, all the reports you will create will appear here, and you will have to select the dimensions and the rows or metrics here with drag and drop. Now in our case, what we will do is we will try to create the same report in here. Now I will name this report as daily reports. Now here, if you see, there are two sections, one is row and one is column. Now what I can do is whatever I put in row here, I drag from here and put in row will become the dimension, and whatever I drag and put here in the column will become the metrics of the report. For an example, I will first select date range, let's say last 7 days. My dimension has to be date, so I'll search for date and put it in the row here. It's all drag and drop. And then I will select for impressions, columns. I'll put clicks in the columns, and I'll put CTR. So this is how my report will look like for last April 3 to April 9. This is the daily impressions, clicks and CTR. Now all you can do with this report is you can either download it in an Excel file, or you can save this report. For example, if you sometimes want to see this kind of report, you can save this as a template. Whenever you come in instant report section, this daily reports you will see there, you click on it and you will change the dates and you can see the same report. Now this is a very simple report, but sometimes you do a complicated report where you add a lot of other stuff like conversions, view through conversions, click through conversions. So it takes like few minutes to generate that kind of template. So in that case, you can save it here, save as, and then you can always come back. I'll show you in a bit, but before that I want to show you that how you can change it to different widgets, the same report in different widgets here. But please remember, in instant reports you can only select one widget. For example, now it's a table, you can make it a pie chart or anything you want. But before that, let me change the metrics here, because date wise this report will not make sense. So I will change it to, let's say, country. I want to see how many impressions for a particular campaign came from each country. So I'll select a pie chart. Now it will show me a pie chart with each. For example, in last 7 days for the selected campaign, we have 31% of the impressions came from Egypt. And like the offline report, you can go here, you can add a filter and you can check this report for a particular advertiser, campaign, insertion order, line item, whatever you want. For example, if I select an advertiser here, I can select which of the advertisers in the existing advertisers I want to select this report for. And similarly, you can use the other widgets here. It's like it should make sense with the report you are generating. For example, date wise and pie chart won't make any sense, so I changed it to country. Now if I go back here, for example, if I save it and next time I come in instant reports, you will see this daily report. So you can save it for future, maybe after 10 days you come here, you will still see it. You can click on the same thing and you can change the dates and select it for some other dates, so that you don't have to go through all the steps to create this template again. That's all about instant reports. The third entity in reports is a dashboard. To create a dashboard, you have to click on Insights on the left hand side again and click on Dashboards. Once you click on the dashboards, the same format, all the dashboards you have created so far will appear here. And if you want to create a new dashboard, we click on Dashboard here. Please remember, dashboard is just, you can put together multiple instant reports here. So I'll name it test dashboard. Description is optional, so you can add any description. So I'll name it dashboard for management internal. So it gives me an idea. For example, I work for an agency, so this is for my management and it's an internal dashboard. For clients, there might be another version with some other functionalities. Same thing, you have a date range here and you can add different widgets unlike the instant report. So if I click on here, if you see, you can add a table, you can add a chart, or you can add a note for your reference. I'll create a table So if you already have created a table or an instant report, it will appear here, but let's start with a new table. So I'll click on next. So just like instant report, it will give you the same template, and then you can put multiple instant reports in this dashboard. Let's again do the same thing which we did, country, and we will add impressions. Okay, save it. Let's name it as country wise impressions. I click on save and I click on add. So it will appear here as a table because I selected table. Now again I can select one more, I can create one more. Let's say this time I create a chart. Let's say create new. Let's say now I want to create a pie chart. Let's say now I want to see if I have 3 different insertion orders in my campaign. I want to check how many impressions were generated for each insertion order in that campaign. So I'll go here, I'll select insertion order. So I'll select insertion order ID as the segment, and then I want to see the impressions, and then I want to put impressions and the metrics, and I click on save. I name it IO impressions. I click on save. So I'll add it here. Now it will show me. So similarly you can change the size of these widgets, and you can add as many as possible, and then you can, like instant report, you can save it, and later you can come back and you can change the dates and filters, and you will see it for this dashboard for that particular time and that particular date. So this is the dashboard now. So if I go back to the dashboards, anytime you want to use this dashboard, you click on dashboards and you will see it listed here. So you go here, maybe in 10 days, you come here, you change the dates, and you will see the respective data for that. So guys, this is all about reporting honestly, but I would suggest you to go through offline reports to see what all dimensions and metrics you can create the reports for. But that's all.
हो गया रिपोर्ट। टाइप ऑफ यूट्यूब एड्स तो किया था तुम लोग किया टाइप ऑफ यूट्यूब एड्स, सुटेबल नॉन सुटेबल बम्पर किया है। तो क्या हाँ कि ना, बम्पर था, डिस्कस भी था। नहीं किया है तो फिर करा देंगे, वीडियो चला देंगे। है तो वीडियो।
Video of DV360 tutorial series. In this series, we take you from beginners to expert level in DV360, where we teach you about how to create, run, optimize campaigns in DV360. If you are just looking to understand the types and how to traffic YouTube campaigns, this video is for you. However, if you are interested in DV360, I would suggest to watch this series from the beginning. I will put the link to this playlist in the description below. Before we jump into DV360 and I show you how to run YouTube campaigns,
টাইপ অফ ইউটিউব অ্যাড ফরম্যাট এগুলো করেছিলাম তো। ঠিক আছে, তাও একবার করে নাও, 10 মিনিটের ভিডিও, এটা দেখে রিপিট হয়ে যাবে। টাইপস অফ ইউটিউব অ্যাড তোমাদের লেখা আছে, तुम लोगों ने लिखा हुआ तो लिख लो, यूट्यूब ऐड फॉर्मेट। আউটস্ট্রিম, ইনস্ট্রিম মানে ভিডিওর মধ্যে, আউটস্ট্রিম মানে ভিডিওর বাইরে।
I want to take you through all the types of YouTube ads we can run in DV360 or even Google Ads. I have seen students struggling with different types of ads where they are confused. So I decided to first take you through the 6 types of ads which we can run on YouTube, so that once it's clear, it's easy for you to understand which type of campaign you should select while creating a YouTube campaign. I'm sure you know that YouTube campaigns can only be created in DV360 or Google Ads. Once you understand all the 6 types and or formats of YouTube ads we can create, then I will tell you what strategies to use to create different YouTube campaigns for different objectives and what strategies to use. This is the list of 6 types of YouTube ad formats or campaigns you can create. Please remember, all of them, they appear in a different way. The bidding strategy is different for all of them, and they all serve to a specific objective. For example, reach, or you want to generate leads, or even create awareness. We will go through each of them with examples. The first one is skippable in-stream. Now you have to remember one thing. When we say in-stream, it means that the video ad appears within the main video. For example, this screenshot you see here, I was trying to watch Post Malone Rockstar video. Now the video will not play until I finish the ad, which means it is in the same stream. Once this video ad finishes, only then the actual video will start. They appear in the same video player. Whenever there is a video like this which blocks the original video you are trying to watch, those ads are called in-stream ads. Now going to specifics, if you see here, this type of video ad can appear in the beginning, it can appear in the middle of the original video, or it can even appear at the end of the video. So if it appears in the beginning, it's called a pre-roll. If it appears in somewhere middle, it's called a mid-roll ad. Or if it appears at the end of the video, this video ad will be called a post-roll ad. Now whenever such a video appears on YouTube, you will not be able to skip the ad for 5 seconds, but after 5 seconds there will be a skip ads button here. So you can click on the skip ads and the ad will be skipped and you will be redirected to the original video. This is one of the most commonly used video ad formats on YouTube, and the good thing about this ad format is you can configure a CTA here. For example, this ad is coming from monday.com. Now there is also a CTA here which will appear, which is start now. You can configure, you can say anything, learn more, or I think there is 15 characters limit to configure the button name here, and it will show the main headline of the ad and their website and a CTA button. The other thing about this ad is that if you configure this YouTube campaign, it will run on YouTube watch page, which is this video player page, and it can also appear on GDN websites, the websites which have partnered with Google to show you video ads. Now while creating the campaign, you can configure to run it only on YouTube and skip the partner websites if you want your ad to only appear on YouTube. Now while creating this campaign, you can pay either by a CPV. You can set a CPV bid that I want my ad to appear with $0.03 CPV. Regarding CPV, you have to remember, if the video ad is not 30 seconds long, let's say it's only 25 seconds long, then a view will be considered the end of the video, which is 25 seconds. If it's more than 30 seconds, then whenever the ad is watched for 30 seconds, it will be considered as one view and you will pay for that view. Also, if before the video ends or 30 seconds of the video somebody clicks on the CTA here, it still is considered to be a view and you will pay for that view. If you, for example, select bidding strategy as target CPM, then you have an option that you can pay via CPM for this format as well. The second one is non-skippable in-stream ad. It's exactly as the skippable ad, but this ad is always less than 15 seconds. The maximum length of this ad can be 15 seconds, which means if you have a 30 seconds video and you want to run it as non-skippable in-stream, you cannot. Non-skippable in-stream ad has to be 15 seconds or less. Now the difference between skippable and this format is you do not see a skip ad button here. You will have to wait for 15 seconds for this ad to run and then the original video will resume. Now this ad is usually considered
यूज टाइम का था, अभी का बड़ा होता है। अभी तो 30 सेकंड तक भी चला जाता है, 15 से बढ़ गया अभी, और दो नॉन स्किप एक साथ ऐड आता है। year 2000
good for awareness. If you observe, there is no CTA button as well. There is no button which will take you to the advertiser's landing page. So these ads are usually considered good for awareness. Only big brands use these because they do not want, for example, Dettol advertising. They don't want you to watch the ad and click to go to their website to buy a Dettol. They do all the advertising is for awareness and consideration. So those kind of companies usually use these ads where they want you to just see their ad to create that top of mind awareness for their new products or offers. Like skippable in-stream ad, this ad can run both on YouTube watch page as well as the GDN, which is the partner websites, but you again have an option to limit this ad to run only on YouTube. For non-skippable in-stream ad, you pay based on CPM, that's cost per million. This ad also can appear on pre-roll, mid-roll or post-roll position. Now the third type is video discovery ads. This ad is a bit different than skippable and non-skippable in a way that how it appears. Now, this is the only ad on YouTube which does not play unless a user clicks on it. What do I mean by that is, this ad usually appears on result page. For example, if I go to YouTube and I search for best smartphones, now Xiaomi can, for example, or Apple or Samsung can create a discovery ad which will appear as a result. For example, for this search term, YouTube will show you a lot of videos. This will appear in the search list with a thumbnail and a headline and description. Now, if a user clicks on this video, that's the only way this video will play. Similarly, it appears on 3 positions in YouTube. One is search page, which I already explained. The other one is watch page. For example, you are already watching a video on YouTube. Now that on mobile phone, you will see some recommended videos or up next videos here. Now this can appear there as well. If you click on it, then the video will play. Or sometimes if you go on a mobile phone, if you go on YouTube app, you will see on the top there will be a video listed which will show ad here. Now if you click on this, then only this video will play. This is a very different ad format than the rest of the YouTube formats, but it has some special use cases as well. Most of the times this video format is used to create awareness of YouTube channels. If you want to promote your own YouTube channel, for example, I have DV360 videos on my channel. Now it doesn't make sense for me to show in-stream ads because people are trying to watch something else and I'm just going in between them. It will not create that impact. However, if I configure my YouTube campaign as discover ads and I only trigger my ads based on when people search for DV360 programmatic advertising, then users are most likely to click on my ad as well, and it does not give that salesy impact because users by their will click on the ad to watch the video. The users will have higher intent to interact my content and my watch time and all these metrics will be better than the other metrics. So this is one of the uses of discovery ads. Now this type of ad only appears on YouTube. It does not appear on GDN. For video discovery ads, you pay based on CPV. You can set up a target CPV, which is let's say $0.03, and your campaign will run in a way that the views generated will be within this limit. The fourth type of ad format on YouTube is called bumper ads. It's exactly like a non-skippable ad, but it's only 6 seconds or less. It's also used by the same big companies like non-skippable ads for brand awareness. There is no CTA, there's no button to click. It's just a message where they want to reach out to users to deliver their message about their offer or a new product. The only difference between non-skippable ad and bumper ad is the duration. Non-skippable ad can be up to 15 seconds and bumper ads can be up to maximum of 6 seconds. And just like non-skippable ads, you only pay based on CPM, and the bidding strategy you can use for this is only target CPM. Guys, I'm just trying to make you familiar with different types of ads because most of the students I have interacted with, they think there is a lot of ad formats available on YouTube and they're confused. I just want to take you through all the 6 types so that it's easier for you to understand what all is possible on YouTube. And also For each of these ad formats, there is limited bidding strategies you can use. For example, for bumper ads, you can only use target CPM. For all those details, I have put a link in the description below which explains all the bidding strategies you can use for each of these formats. Now, the fifth type of ad formats is outstream ads. The first thing you have to remember about outstream ads is you configure this as a YouTube campaign, but it does not appear on YouTube. It only appears on Google partner websites and apps. Now, usually if you go to an app, a gaming app or a website on mobile phone, what you see is a video plays there. Now that kind of videos are usually YouTube outstream ads. Now you have to remember these ads will always appear without sound and the user will have to unmute them to listen to the sound. Otherwise they will always play on mute mode. Now for outstream ads, you have to remember that you pay only based on vCPM, which means viewable CPM. You pay for your campaign whenever your video is at least viewed for 2 seconds, and 50% of the video has to be in the viewport. Actually, that is the definition of viewable impression for Google. For banners, if 50% of the ad is in the viewport for consecutive 1 second, it's considered to be a viewable impression, and for videos it is 2 seconds. The last and the sixth type of YouTube video formats is masthead. This type of ad appears on the home page on the top as a big banner. So for example, if you see in here in the screenshot, you go to your YouTube homepage and sometimes you see a big banner on the top. Now this type of ad is called masthead ads. You have to remember this, that you cannot create this campaign for mastheads in YouTube, Google Ads or DV360. This always is reserved by reaching out to Google support team. I have also put the link below in case you want to book a masthead. How it works is, if I want a masthead, I have to reach out to Google and reserve it for a particular date and for a particular geography. This usually is reserved before 7 days of the campaign live date, but always depends on the availability. Now usually YouTube or Google does not allow more than 5 advertisers to book a masthead for a particular country, but there are always exceptions. For this format, you pay cost per day basis. So you reach out to Google, you tell them, for example, for UAE, I want to book on 1st of May a masthead. They will tell you, okay, we have availability, you will pay, for example, $100,000 for a day. Or for some days, what they do is they break down the total reach on that day in that country and sell it to 5 different advertisers, and then you can book it on CPM basis as well. They will tell you estimated impressions you will get as one of the 5 advertisers, and you will pay on CPM basis. This type of ad format is usually used for massive awareness of an event or a product launch. For example, when iPhone is launched in UAE, they book the masthead for 5 days, and anyone who goes to YouTube in UAE, they see that iPhone 12 is launched or used by such big companies for product launches and events, because they are very expensive as well. So for example, for UAE, it can range between $50,000 to $100,000 depending on the day and other variables. So for example, for India, it's even more expensive, so because the reach there is higher as well. So that's all about the 6 types of ad formats. I hope this was clear. You have understood what are the different formats, so that when we create a campaign in DV360, it's even more clear. So when we create the campaign in DV360, you can relate to it. Guys, I hope this was helpful.
जाओ थोड़ा ब्रेक ले जाओ, फिर ये वाला करते हैं YouTube ऐड का लाइन आइटम। ইন্ডিয়া গট ট্যালেন্ট,
হ্যাঁ
ইন্ডিয়া গট ট্যালেন্ট।
ইন্ডিয়া গট ট্যালেন্ট এমনি একটা কোথায় মানে শো টাইপের হয়েছিল, তো সেখানে
দেখছিলাম
পারফরমেন্সটা করেছে, ঠিক আছে। আমি শুধু মানুষের চিন্তা ভাবনা হয় যে একটা সিলিকন জিনিস, নর্মাল যে বডি পার্ট আর একটা সিলিকনের মধ্যে ডিফারেন্স বুঝতে পারেনি। হাসপাতাল তো এই যে যে এই রোলটা করেছে মাকারি রোলটা, এই ট্রান্সজেন্ডার, ঠিক আছে। এবার সবাই যে
এটা নিয়ে কন্ট্রোভার্সি হচ্ছে।
কন্ট্রোভার্সি বলছে মানে যে এত ওপেনলি করছে, মানে
সিলিকনের ইউজ করেছে,
ওটাই তো বলছি।
সিলিকনের পুরো জাপানে তো সিলিকনের ডল চলে।
হুম, ওটাই তো যে
Fake
পুরো
doll চলে।
আউটফিটটা করেছে পুরো সিলিকন আউটফিট আছে, বলছে এত ওপেন, মানে মানুষ মানে জিনিসটা মেকআপ করেছে, ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু মানুষের তো একটা বোঝার কথা কোনটা সিলিকন আর কোনটা অরিজিনাল বডি পার্ট, ঠিক আছে।
এই মানুষ যে কোনো জিনিসে ইয়ে করবে।
নিয়ে কন্ট্রোভার্সি না, এই যে পরিষ্কার বোঝা যাচ্ছে সিলিকন বডি পার্ট আছে, কিন্তু পারফরমেন্স সলিড দিয়ে
Solid performance
পারফরমেন্স দিয়েছে।
আমি একটু দেখলাম, পুরোটা দেখলাম, একটু দেখলাম, ভালো পারফরমেন্স হয়েছে।
ফ্রুটস খাবেন স্যার?
না, তুমি খাও, একটু চা খাও, একটু একটু বাড়িতে ভালো। wait.
Is DV360 tutorial. In this series, we train you from basics to an expert level in DV360. In this video, we will discuss about how to create YouTube line items in DV360. If you are interested to learn DV360 from scratch, I will put the link for the whole playlist where we discuss everything about DV360 in an order in the description below. If you are interested just to learn how to create YouTube campaigns in DV360, I would suggest to watch the 10th video of this series where we explain all the formats of YouTube campaigns in DV360. Okay, in the previous videos, we already discussed how to create an advertiser account, how to create a campaign, and how to create an insertion order. In this video, we will start from there as if we already have an insertion order created where we want to create YouTube line items. Once I go to the insertion order and I click on new line item, this is the window I will be redirected to. Now, in your case as well, before creating the line item, you would have already created an insertion order for this YouTube line item or a generic insertion order. So I will go here and select, I have created a YouTube insertion order for this campaign. So I will select that one. Now the next option, it will ask me what type of line item I want to create. So in that case, I will select YouTube partners here. Okay, just to give you a refresher about what we discussed in the last video. If you remember, we discussed that in YouTube, there are 6 types of ad formats that can run. Now, among these 6, masthead is something that we reserve through Google support team and we cannot create this on our end. And outstream ads is something, it's an extension. If we, for example, create a skippable in-stream ad and we select the ad should be shown on partner websites and apps as well, it will become outstream ad format in that case. But however, we do not create a separate format for outstream ads. It's just if we allow our line item to serve on partner websites and apps, when our YouTube ad will serve on these websites, it will appear in an outstream format. So basically within DV360, there are only 4 types of ad formats which you create, which is skippable in-stream, non-skippable in-stream, discovery ads, and bumper ads. In our case, we will create a skippable in-stream ad format and a discovery ad format because they are different. However, if you create a skippable in-stream ad format, you should be able to create non-skippable in-stream format as well. The only difference will be in non-skippable in-stream format here, you will not have to choose the logo and the CTA and the description. Same with bumper ads. It's straightforward. You just upload any video which will serve for 6 seconds. So in this video, we will discuss about skippable in-stream and we will create one discovery ads. Okay, we are back to DV360 and let's create one skippable in-stream. Now the second option you see here is video and audio. There's one more ad format which is audio, but it's still in beta. So we will select video here. And when it comes to type, please remember that each of these types you select will restrict you about what kind of ad formats you will be able to create in this line item. Now, if you select brand awareness, you will be able to select all the 4 formats. However, if you select website conversions, for example, or reach, you will be limited with 2 or 3 formats which run under this type. So choosing a type does not matter. So if you click on brand awareness, you will be able to select all formats within this type. Okay, once you select brand awareness, you see here it will list all the ad formats you want to create in this line item. For example, the first option is in case you want to create in-stream or video discovery ads. The second one is for bumper. The third one is for non-skippable. So these are the all the four formats where you choose in this line item which one you are going to create. There is one additional which is ad sequence, which is again an option if you want to arrange your ads. For example, you have 3 ads and you want to show 3 ads in a sequence to your user. Only people who saw the first ad should be able to see the second ad. This is just to arrange if you have multiple creatives and you want to show them in a sequence to the user. So in our case, we will select in-stream or video discovery ads and click on next here. Once you click on next, you will see all these options. Here media type is video. It already takes these options from the previous window. Now here if you see inventory sources, this is where you control where your ads should only appear on YouTube and it should appear on partners as well. For example, if I go here, if I uncheck this option, my video ads will only appear on YouTube search and YouTube videos, which is all of YouTube. But if I select this one, then my videos ads will appear on the partner websites and apps as well. And when they appear on these, it will appear in an outstream format. So in our case, we will uncheck this option because I want the video ads to only serve on YouTube. Now the next option you see here is flight dates. You can use same as the insertion order or use custom dates for this particular line item. For me, I will leave it as the insertion order dates. Now the next thing you see here is budget and pacing. So like other line items, you will be able to select a flight. For example, your campaign is for 15 days. You can select a particular budget, let's say 1500, and by the end of the campaign, this campaign would have spent exactly 1500. But daily there might be small variances. For example, this 1500 will not be spread evenly across 15 days. You will not see $100 spent every day. You will see a slight variation, maybe on some days $105 spent, on some days only $90 spent, but by the end of the campaign it would spend the whole amount. If you select the daily, then you can choose that how much you want to spend daily regardless of the campaign flight. For example, if I select $100 here, and I can select even, which means that the budget will be spent evenly across the whole day. Or if I select as soon as possible, it will spend as soon as possible. For example, if there is the targeted audience is available and YouTube is able to spend in just by noon of the day, it will spend the whole amount every day. The next option here is bid adjustment. So you can do bid adjustment for all devices if you want to create a bias towards how much you bid on each device and how eager you are to spend to reach out to your audience on a particular device. Then you will have to select a frequency cap. For example, as I told you, ideally depends on the campaign objective, but ideally it's around 7 per week, or you can choose 2 per day. Depends on how you have planned your campaign. The next section is conversion tracking, where you want to select how to measure a conversion. It is the floodlight tag which has been implemented on the website to track conversions. You will select that one here, but in our case, this particular test line item, we have not implemented any conversion, but you can click on here. If you have multiple, you will get an option to choose which one have you implemented on this particular website where you want to redirect the traffic and count conversions. Then we will leave these settings by default, count all conversions, and select the attribution model to primary model. So this is all about our line item settings. Unlike other line items, in YouTube line item, you have additional settings you control at ad group levels. In other all line item types, you do not have ad group hierarchy in DV360. YouTube is the only line item which has ad groups under the line items. And ad groups is the actual entity where you actually upload the video creatives. Now we click on create new ad group. I will name it InStream ad group April 21. So it depends on you what type of syntax or naming convention you want to use. You can use anything. Now in this ad format, we will select InStream ads. Now the next option is targeting. Please remember, like any other line item, targeting is very important for YouTube line items as well, to make sure you reach out to the right audience and get the results you want, whether it's leads or website traffic. So we will follow the same targeting methodology which we discussed in a normal line item in 6th or 7th video, that we will create 4 types of targeting. One ad group, we will target audiences. In this YouTube campaign, we will assume that our client is a hair growth oil which helps people to regrow their hair. So for an example, our audience, whether it's Google or third-party audience, would be people who are interested in hair transplant, hair growth, or they are searching for these kind of products. And the second one will be contextual. In our case, for example, we will identify video channels which talk about hair transplant and hair regrowth, and we will target them. For example, if a user is watching videos related to hair growth and going to those kind of channels and watching those videos, it's contextually relevant. So whenever the users go to watch such videos, we will target them there. I will show you in detail what are the 2 different methods to do that. Third one is we will create custom audiences based on the search behavior of users and the websites they have visited. I will also show you how to extract those and target those. For example, if a user is searching for how to regrow hair and then they are going to websites which talk about how to regrow hair, so it's important to target these kind of users as well while they are on YouTube, because they are our relevant audiences. Then of course, depending on the client's needs, we will also create a remarketing campaign where we target users who have already visited our client's website or landing page. Okay, so first thing is we will target third party and Google audiences. We'll click on add targeting, we'll click on audience lists. We will first add Google audiences and we'll click on Google audiences add. We'll select in market and we will see people in market for hair products. So for example, these are people who are interested in hair care, personal care. So it depends on you how granular you want to go. But for example, for me, it makes sense to target all these three audiences who are interested in personal hair care products, shampoos and conditioners, and we might find a lot of prospect customers within this audience. And I click on apply. So that is our first ad group where we target Google audiences. So the next section is bid strategy. Now in our case, for example, I'm targeting UAE in this insertion order. I know the average CPV is around $0.03 and it's as per the media plan. So I'll put $0.03 here. And meanwhile, while the campaign is running, I will see if the campaign is able to spend the budget. If I'm getting good number of views, I might reduce it later a bit and see at what point I can spend the whole budget and get maximum number of views. For example, if you see that for this particular audience, the line item is not spending in 2 or 3 days, you might want to come back here and increase the CPV bid a bit. That's all about bid strategy. And now we come here and we create an ad. Now you have to understand, in all type of YouTube campaigns, the creative is always a YouTube video. So if your client is saying I don't have this video on my channel, they can upload it. If they don't want to publish it, they can still keep it unlisted, and unlisted videos can still be used as ads. Now for example, I'll go to YouTube and I'll go to hair transplant. Let's say this is my video I want to use as an ad. Okay, let's say this one. So I click on it, I copy the link from here, I go here and I put the video link here. Now it will automatically populate the video. You will select this. Now for example, I'll select ad with the guy. So you can name it anything just to recognize in the reports. Now if you see here, once you select the video, it will ask you for display URL, landing page and click tracker if you have. So display URL will be, if you see in the screenshot here, you see this ad here on this button, it shows monday.com. So this URL is called display URL. So in our case, we can put anything as hypothetical at abc.com. Landing page URL would be the advertiser's landing page where they want users to go if they click on the ad. So in our case, it will be hypothetical abc.com/here. We don't have a click tracker URL, which is also optional. Then the next option you see here is companion banner. Just to give you an idea, if you look here in the screenshot, there's an eToro ad, in stream skippable ad playing in the before the video. But if you look at the right hand side on the YouTube website, there is this banner appearing which is from the same advertiser. So you get an option in YouTube while you create these ads, you can choose a banner that can appear here. The display URL and logo and the button will be automatically taken from here, but these banners you can choose. So you can upload these banners or you can click on use auto-generated images from videos in your channel. So it will automatically pull up a relevant banner and test a lot of banners from your video. In my case, I don't have a banner image to upload, so I will choose use automatic generated. Then there is call to action, which is optional. If you look at the screenshot here, this eToro ad, it says trade socially and join eToro. It's a button. So this button is called call to action and this thing here, trade socially, is called headline. So in our case, we will choose call to action as buy now and headline would be grow your hair. And once I click on done, that's all. So we created our first in-stream skippable ad with a CTA. Please also remember, just like Google Ads, in one ad group you can upload multiple ads at the same time. Okay, I don't want to go back and create it again and again. I'll just quickly show you how to create the other 4 ad groups with the 4 types of targeting strategies. If you look here, we have created an audience segment, Google and third party. Now is the time we create a contextual ad group. For contextual ad group, what I'll do is, in place of adding audiences, what I'll do is I'll click on add targeting. So depending on how granular you want to go, you can, for example, click on certain categories and say, okay, I want my ads to target only videos which talk about a certain category. For example, we will select, let's say, beauty and fitness, and we will select people who are interested in, let's say, hair care. You can even go detailed in people who are watching content related to shampoos and conditioners or hair loss. So for example, in our case, I'll select hair loss and click on apply. Now the interesting thing about YouTube is, what you can do is, if you want to go more granular, you can click on add categories and you can select placements. The moment you select placements, what you can do is you can even target videos of certain YouTube channels. For example, I know that people who are looking for hair care products, they usually go to this particular channel to watch. I can go, if I don't know, I can still go on YouTube and see a relevant search for hair transplant, see a particular channel, and I will see which has the maximum number of views, and I can add certain channels like that. So for example, if I find out that people who are looking for hair care, they go to this channel, Mike Thurston, I'll click here, I'll copy the channel link, I'll go here, and in channels I will put this link here. It will automatically show me. So I can select all the channels which are relevant, and any user who goes to watch any of the videos on this channel, they will be targeted with our ads. Not only this, you can even go to particular YouTube videos. If you know there is a particular video on YouTube which has millions of views, and people who are looking for regrowing hair, they watch this video, you can copy the YouTube video link same way and put it here and click on apply. So this way our line item will serve on these channels. Whenever user is watching videos on these channels, our ads will appear in stream there, as well as the videos you select. Similarly, for custom audiences, what you will do is, instead of all these in that ad group, you will click on add group and click on keywords and select certain keywords like hair loss treatment, and any users who search for these keywords on YouTube or even Google as well, those people, when they are watching videos on YouTube, regardless of what video they are watching, they will see our ads as well. And the fourth ad group you will create is remarketing. For that, so instead of all these categories and keywords, what you will do is you'll create ad and go to audience list and select the first party here. But in our case, we have not implemented the pixel on the website, but in your case, if you have, it will appear here, and you will select that and click on apply. So all the people who visit your website where the pixel, floodlight pixel is placed, all those people, when they go to YouTube, they will be targeted. That's all about in-stream ad format. So before we go and we see YouTube discovery ad, guys, I have created a small quiz for which I have put the link in the description below. After the video, please make sure you go and you attempt the quiz. One, you will quickly understand how much you have learned, you will see your score, and in case you have attempted a question and you have selected a wrong answer, it will also show you what is the right answer for that question. I'll click on done and we'll go back. To create a discovery ad format, we'll go back to create new line item and we'll select the insertion order where we want this line item to create. We'll again select YouTube and partners and we'll name it discovery ad, and then we'll select video. We'll select the brand awareness again, and we'll select in-stream or video discovery ads. For both in-stream and video, you select this option. Click on next. Now here we have the same settings, flight date, budget pacing, bid adjustment, conversion tracking, and I'll go to create ad group section. Now I'll name it as discovery ad. If you're confused about these formats and where they appear, I would suggest to watch the previous video of the playlist, which is 10th, where we explain all of these formats, how they will appear and why they are used. Now let me select video discovery ad option here. Once I select video discovery ads, you can use the same targeting methodology we used for InStream, but I want to bring to your notice that video discovery ads, as we know that they only play when a user click on the thumbnail or play next. So this format is usually used to promote YouTube channel and your content on YouTube channel. Usually discovery ads are used for content marketing. For example, I just created my YouTube channel like 1 or 2 months ago. If I think I have real solid content and I'm not getting much traction and I should invest a little bit in marketing to create traction on my channel, to generate views and subscribers, this format is ideal for me. Now, if you are creating this format in an ideal scenario, I would say you should only use 2 types of targeting within the 4, which is one is custom audiences and one is placements. For example, this is my channel. Let's say I want to promote this video, which is about DMP. By the way, guys, if you haven't watched this, please do watch. It's an amazing video. So let's say I want to promote this video, which is Oracle Bluekai step-by-step guide. Now, what I'll do is, it makes sense to target this video to people who are searching for what is a DMP, uses of DMP, Oracle Bluekai training. So in that case, what I'll do is, I will go here, I'll create ad targeting and keywords. I will target keywords like DMP, uses of DMP, DMP training, DMP courses, Oracle Bluekai, and I will add all these keywords here. Now it makes sense that whenever user is searching for these keywords, he might like my video as well and watch my video and subscribe to my channel as well. So I will go ahead, same thing about the bid strategy, maximum CPV, and I go to create ad. Now the same scenario, I go here, I copy the link of my video here and I put the link here and I'll name it DMP. Rest of the settings are same. It will tell you what do you want to use as thumbnail. So in discovery ads, as you know that my ads will appear within the search results and other places. So it will appear as a search result. So I need to select a particular thumbnail. I can select the thumbnail of the video or somewhere a screenshot in between of the video. In our case, let's select the original thumbnail. Then again, you will have to put headline, description and description too. So to give you an idea, for example, if I go here and I select for Senator Viran ads, you see the results. This is the headline and these are the descriptions. So when I create a campaign, my ad will appear in search results just like this. So I have to select what should be the description and what should be the headline. Now I can use the same headline and description of the original video, or I can customize it. In either case, I will select anything and I will click on done, and that is all about discovery ads. This was about targeting keywords. Now I told you for discovery ads, it also makes sense to target contextual placements. For that, what I'll do is I'll go to YouTube again and I will search for all the keywords like DMP, DMP training. And I know, for example, this channel, they talk about DMP. Let's say they have millions of views. I know a lot of people watch this. So what I'll do is, for example, this is the most popular video on YouTube related to DMPs. I know a lot of people who are looking for DMP videos, they will watch this. So same way, what I'll do is I'll copy this particular video link and I will go to my targeting in the new ad group, which is placement targeting, and I will select placements and I will select YouTube videos. I will add it here, that whenever somebody watches this particular video, my ad should appear in the search results or recommended ads or up next videos, because it makes sense. Similarly, I'll go and I will see if, for example, DMP is a very specific topic. If your advertiser is in a very generic industry, so you will go to channels which talk about that context, and then you will copy those channels the same way. You come here, you go here, use YouTube channels and input all the YouTube channels where you want people who are watching videos of these channels. Your ad should appear in the recommended or up next or the search results as well. So that's all about discovery ads. Now, if you want to create bumper ads and non-skippable ads, they are pretty straightforward, simpler than this. You just upload a video and you don't even have to upload the headlines and stuff. which should be easier for you, and that will be your homework. Guys, please do not forget to attempt the test, which is in the description below. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, because it really
না না বেশি যাবে না। টাইপস অফ ডিলস সব ভিডিও করার দরকার নেই, এখানে কিছু কিছু এবার সিলেক্টেড করবো, এটা ছেড়ে দেবো। डील्स देखते हैं, टाइप्स ऑफ डील्स, कितने तरह का डील्स होता है, डील्स कितने तरह का लिखा है
in this video we will talk about
ज़्यादा डील्स कितना तरह का लिखा है, गारंटीड डील, नॉन गारंटीड डील, मार्केट प्लेस, ओपन ऑप्शन लिखा हुआ है, गारंटीड डील, नॉन गारंटीड डील सब लिखा है, टाइप्स ऑफ डील्स, मार्केट प्लेस, हाउ टू डील, गारंटीड डील मतलब जहाँ पे गारंटीड इम्प्रेशन हम लोग मांगते हैं, एक्सप्लेन किया था बीबीसी साइट का, जैसे 10 लाख इम्प्रेशन चाहिए मेरे को, तो 10 लाख इम्प्रेशन के लिए हमें पैसा देगा। হ্যাঁ গ্যারেন্টিড ডিল করেছিলাম লাস্ট উইকেই তো ছিল। ঠিক আছে फिर से देख लो।
what are deals, what are the different types of deals, and in the next video we will talk about what is marketplace, which is a very important feature in DV360, how to set up a deal and what are the best practices while you are trying to set up deals and create campaigns. Guys, this topic is tricky. I have seen a lot of people getting confused within the deals, within the terminology, or the names of the types of deals keep changing. So I'll quickly take you through what deals is, what are the types of deals. Then so first of all, we'll discuss what deals are. Now guys, until now, all the campaigns we have created, what we have primarily done is we are only targeting open auction inventory, where we do not have an agreement with any of the publishers. So we choose a particular targeting and upload creatives and run campaigns, but we never spoke to any of the publishers which will be targeted in our campaigns. Now, for example, if you have watched my previous videos, what we discussed is we can create a campaign and a line item inside it, and we can target certain URL. Let's say I create a campaign and I target URL bbc.com. Now my campaign will only try to run ads, my ads on bbc.com, but we have no agreement with the publisher. They are not aware that we are targeting their inventory. Now our ads might show there or not based on how the publisher is selling the inventory.
देखो अभी तक जितना भी ऐड दिखाया है वो ओपन ऑप्शन में दिखाया है, किसी बायर या किसी सेलर के बीच में एग्रीमेंट नहीं दिखाया अभी तक कभी ऐड बोले पे, बट डील होता है कि एक एग्रीमेंट होता है बिटवीन बायर एंड सेलर, हमको इतना इंप्रेशन तुम्हारे साइट पे चाहिए, उसके लिए एक डील होगी, उसके लिए पैसा चार्ज करेगा। तो डील का ये लिख लो, डील इज एन एडवर्टाइजिंग इन्वेंट्री एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन अ बायर एंड अ सेलर। अभी ये नया स्टार्ट हुआ है, 40-50 स्टूडेंट, कौन सा एक तो नया क्लास स्टार्ट हुआ है, ये कॉमर्स का रिलेटेड कुछ, हाँ उससे रिलेटेड ही है। हाँ 40-50 स्टूडेंट। না ওইগুলো লিখতে হবে, ওগুলো বুঝতে হবে।
Now, deals on the other hand is a feature in DV360 where we can speak to the publisher and agree upon how we want to buy their inventory. So you can say a deal is an advertising inventory agreement between a buyer, which is an advertiser or an agency like us, and a seller, which is a publisher or an exchange. For you to imagine, I'll just give you a quick example. Let us say we have a campaign where we only want to target bbc.com in UAE. Now, if there was no DV360, there was no programmatic guaranteed deals, in ideal case what will happen is any of the persons from our company will approach the sales team of bbc.com and tell them we want to buy inventory on your website. And they will have an agreement on a paper or an insertion order. They will agree upon certain prices and everything. And the revenue model, for example, bbc.com will say, no, you have to pay us everything in advance and give us the creatives, we'll run your campaigns. Or they will say, okay, we'll run your campaign, and after the campaign is finished, you will have to pay us. So everything happens between the publisher and the advertiser. Now, the same thing can be done through DV360, and there are a lot of benefits why you would do it within DV360. So the basic concept is when a deal of an inventory, when an advertiser or an agency buys an inventory with a certain publisher through DV360, it's called a deal. So any of your campaigns where you want to run your ads on a certain inventory and you already agree upon with the publisher on this inventory transaction, it's called a deal. Now in our example, why will I not go to bbc.com sales team directly and tell them I want to run a campaign with you guys? Why would I do it through DV360? There are a lot of reasons. Some of them I have mentioned here. One, ideally from my experience, and it's a well-known fact as well, if you directly approach bbc.com offline, the CPM rates will be higher than if you do it through a programmatic deal. Number two, there will be no discrepancy. For example, if you have to run a campaign on bbc.com and you approach them through the sales team, you will probably give them a particular creative, or you will give them a tag from DCM, let's say. Now, after the campaign is finished, the bbc.com will tell you this is the report, this is the number of impressions. If you have given them the creatives directly, then you will have to rely on their reports, and you have no way to verify whether they have actually run these number of impressions and this is the CTR, all of this is real. Or in case you have provided them with tags, then there will be always discrepancy between what your DCM has reported and what their SSP has reported. But in this case, if you set up a deal, there will be no discrepancy. Whatever their SSP is counting, your DSP will count the same number of impressions and clicks if everything is set up properly. Then as an agency, you will also have centralized reporting. For example, for this client, or if you are the client yourself, you are an advertiser, now you will have a lot of campaigns running on your DV360, let's say some open auction with other publishers. You will have centralized reporting in this case. If you set up everything through deals, you will have centralized reporting where in one location you can check reports of all the campaigns with all the publishers and even with open auction, and also compare them. The fourth benefit would be, let's say I am based in UAE and I want a campaign to run in South Africa. Now there is one, let's say a big publisher in South Africa where I want to run ads. Without setting up deals, I would have to offline contact the publisher, and imagine let's say I have never worked in South Africa before and I don't know this publisher. Imagine the contracts you will have to sign. Imagine the revenue model. They'll probably ask you to transfer everything in advance because they will not know you, and a lot of workflow hassles. But with deals, what you can do is you can set up a deal with them through DV360, and all the pricing, revenue, transactions will be handled via Google, so they don't have to trust you, or you don't have to set up any kind of contracts with them. You don't have to understand how to set up contracts with them, and all of those logistic issues. And imagine if you have a campaign where you want to set up deals with 10 publishers. So it'll be really tedious to manage this campaign with all these publishers and stakeholders in question. But within DV360, you can do it all centralized in one place. There are various other benefits as well, which you will know once we set up deals. I hope by now you understand what a deal is. It's simply when an advertiser agrees with a publisher on buying their inventory with certain conditions, and all of this is done through DV360. It's called a deal. Now guys, deals are of two types. Majorly they are of two types. Now I have seen a lot of people, as I mentioned before, getting confused with the naming conventions of the deals and how they work. So please pay attention to this particular segment and it will be clear for you once for all. Now the two types of deals are, one is guaranteed and one is non-guaranteed. There's a lot of difference how you set up these deals that we will cover later in the next video. But just to give you an example, the major difference between guaranteed deal and non-guaranteed deal is the contract on the quantity of impression. For example, in our case, when we reach out to BBC, if we tell them that you have to serve 100,000 impressions from this campaign on your inventory, and we have to contract on this that you will deliver this number of impressions, it becomes a guaranteed deal. However, if you tell BBC that I am interested to buy your inventory, but you are not contractually obliged to serve this fixed number of impressions, you can serve less, you can, even if you do not show my ads, you don't serve any impressions, it's still okay, which never happens, but there is no contractual obligation of the publisher to serve a fixed number of impressions. Now, also in guaranteed deals, when you reach out to a publisher, you tell BBC, I want to serve impressions on your website, but the impressions has to be served only to men, only in UAE geography, and only 300 cross 250 and this particular size. So based on the targeting criteria you tell them, they forecast and tell you this is the number of impressions we can serve for you. They will do this forecast on the available free inventory they have and which they can guarantee to you. So for this reason, because the number of impressions they can make available for you is dependent on the targeting. Imagine if you tell them, okay, I want to target UAE and Kuwait, and later you tell them, no, I don't want Kuwait anymore, I just want to target UAE. Obviously their available impressions will decrease because now they will have to only see how much traffic they get from UAE. So because of this reason, if you set up a guaranteed deal with the publisher, you cannot later change the targeting on the campaign because it will affect their available impression. This is just an overview of the two types I'm giving you. It will be all clear when we set up these deals and discuss more about this. But this is some highlights you have to remember. Now regarding non-guaranteed deals, for now you have to remember that there is no contracted quantity. You can set up a deal with a publisher, a non-guaranteed deal, and realize that in 1 week you have not served any impressions there, which should be okay with you because there is no contractual obligation on the number of impressions. Non-guaranteed deals are in turn of two types. One is non-guaranteed fixed inventory and one is non-guaranteed auction. Guys, there's a lot of people who get confused because these two were named something else just until recently. Non-guaranteed deal is of two types: non-guaranteed fixed inventory and non-guaranteed auction. So let's dig a bit deeper in these two types of deals. So before we jump on the three types and explain each of them, I just want to let you know that I have created a quiz for which I'll put the link below for you to check your understanding. After you finish the quiz, you will get a score, and also if you have answered any of the questions incorrectly, you know that recently non-guaranteed deal is of two types: non-guaranteed fixed.
আমি আপনাদের ক্লায়েন্টের একটা পুরো টোটাল ডিল হবে যে আমি একটা তাকে তার একটা নিডস অনুযায়ী যে আমার একটা যে অ্যাড চলছে তাতে 20 মিলিয়ন কি এতগুলো লিড বা ভিউজ চাই, সেই
ইমপ্রেশনের উপর এখানে ডিল হয়,
ইমপ্রেশন চাই, সেই রিলেটেড ওর সাথে একটা মানে এগ্রিমেন্ট সাইন হবে যে আমি তার জন্য আমি এত টাকা চার্জ করব, সেই অনুযায়ী সে আমাকে পে করবে, দেন আমাকে গ্যারান্টিটা ফুলফিল করতে হবে। নন গ্যারান্টিতে আমরা কোনো গ্যারান্টি দেবো না,
গ্যারান্টি দেবো না, কিছু ফিক্সড ইনভেন্টরি দিয়ে দেবো যে এখানে এখানে দেখাবো, কিন্তু কত হবে সেটা একটা ফিক্স। আর একটা হচ্ছে ওপেন অপশন, যেটা এখন আমরা চুজ করি, ওয়াইস হবে ওপেন অপশন।
এটা দেখিয়েছিলেন মানে পেইন্টে চার্ট করে দেখিয়েছিলেন, এর ব্যাপারে কোনো নোটস এখন পর্যন্ত দেওয়া নেই।
আচ্ছা, প্রোগ্রামেটিক গ্যারান্টি, नॉन गारंटी फिक्स्ड इन्वेंट्री, नॉन गारंटी ऑप्शन, इसको लिख लो। यहाँ से जो बचता है उसके बाद फिर ओपन ऑप्शन में चल जाता है। ये चार्ट बना जैसा है उस तरह से अगर लिख सकते हो तो लिख लो। कौन प्राइस मैंने दोनों के बीच में एक तो डील हुआ, कितना लेगा उसके ऊपर। बहुत सारा बैच है तो कौन कौन सा बैच का नहीं पड़ा है। बैच 57, 56 पता नहीं मेरे को। 54-55 हो गया था, 56 मेरा नहीं था, मुझे नहीं पता। बैच 56 हाँ मेरा ही था। अरे तुम्हारा नहीं था बैच 56 तो बोलेगा तो हो गया सर्टिफिकेट। विक्रम अच्छा इसका ये लोग का बात हो गया है तो 57 से होगा। 57 मतलब ये श्रुति लोग का बैच। 58 किसका है पता नहीं। 58 ये लोग का है। तुम लोग का सर्टिफिकेशन नहीं हुआ था। 58, 57, 58, 59, 59 भी मेरा हाँ 59 बारिश लोग का बैच है, मेरा ही बैच है। अमीषा, आदर्श, बारिश वो भी बोल रही है सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए। 47 से लेके अभी तक का करो, 60 तक खत्म होने वाला है। 60 खत्म होने वाला है, अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ है। 59 पकड़ के चलो तो 57, 58, 59। अब हमसे थोड़ा सा नाम लिख के वो ग्रेड क्या होगा हाँ पहले नाम लिख के हमको बताना, फिर हम देखते हैं किसका क्या परफॉर्मेंस था। हाँ उसका ग्रेड बैठा देंगे। IDCM फैकल्टी में भेज दो, फैकल्टी में हो गया ये।
So before we jump on the 3 types and explain each of them, I just want to let you know that I have created a quiz for which I'll put the link below for you to check your understanding after you finish the quiz you will get a score, and also if you have answered any of the questions incorrectly you will know the correct answer for that. So here again, if you see guys, this one is there is two types, which is programmatic guaranteed, and these are two non-guaranteed deals, because non-guaranteed deals are of two types. We have to think like a publisher, how publishers sell inventory, so you will understand these three types of deals accurately. Now for a publisher like bbc.com, they have the priority they sell with is they first give a priority to sell as programmatic guaranteed, and then they give priority to sell it as non-guaranteed deals, which is non-guaranteed fixed inventory and then non-guaranteed auction. Now let's say BBC has capacity of selling 100 million impressions every month on their website. So if they sell, let's say 50 million using these three deal types, rest of the 50 million impressions they will sell through open auction or RTB. So this is the actual preference of the publishers, how they want to sell the inventory. They would obviously want to sell as much as through programmatic guaranteed, then through non-guaranteed fixed inventory, and then these two types. Now because that one of the reasons is the highest CPM they get is for programmatic guaranteed, and once you go towards the right, each of these two types create lesser CPM revenues for them. The least is generated in open auction or RTB. Let's go to programmatic guaranteed. As I mentioned before, it's just like a direct sell, like in the traditional way, like few years ago. The bbc.com salespeople will go to advertisers and agencies and tell them we have the inventory if you want to buy, and they will sell it to them. The only difference is in programmatic guaranteed, all of this is done through DV360, which we will know in the next video how to set up this deal. We also know that there is a contracted impressions for this type of deal, and there is a fixed CPM. So once you set up a deal with bbc.com, a programmatic guaranteed deal, you both agree upon a fixed CPM for which you will buy the inventory. And also know that it's a one-to-one deal. What I mean by one-to-one deal is BBC is one publisher and it is selling inventory to one advertiser. So when I as an agency, let's say I work for Boopin or if I am an advertiser, when I set up a programmatic deal with BBC, this number of impressions will be sold to only me. So the story would look like, I go to BBC, I tell them I want to set up a programmatic guaranteed deal with you, and I tell them a number of impressions I want to buy with the different targeting criteria. I'll tell them I need this only in UAE, I will only target, let's say, men or both women and men, but only a certain age or a particular audience segment. Or I can even tell them, okay, I want this 100,000 impressions only to serve on mobile phones. So whatever my targeting criteria is, along with the number of impressions I want with the date range and a fixed CPM, we will set up a deal. However, in non-guaranteed fixed inventory, this one, how this will work is, I will tell BBC that, would you be interested to set up a deal with me where I will buy inventory on your website? We can agree upon, okay, all the above the fold ad slots only, or 970 ad slots only, or I can tell them I want it on bbc.uk and bbc.com as well. All of this will be agreed upon based on what inventory and what targeting you want. But I'll tell them, or they will tell me, for example, for the next month they have a forecast of they can serve 100 million impressions. They will tell me, okay, if we sell only 50 million impressions through programmatic guaranteed or direct deals, whatever is left, let's agree upon a particular price, let's say $7. Whenever we do not have a programmatic guaranteed deal or a direct sell, what we'll do is we'll first check with you based on this price. If you are willing to pay $7, we will sell it to you, which means the other options they have, like RTB, that anyone can buy their inventory. Before that, they will first check with me that if you are willing to pay $7 CPM, we will sell it to you. So I as an advertiser will get the first preference on the inventory I want to target on their website or app. That is why this type of deal is one-to-one as well. Now BBC will set up this deal with me that before selling it in open auction or non-guaranteed auction, we will give you a preference, and as I mentioned, it will be agreed upon a particular price. Now that's why this type of deal was also called as first look. Some of you might have heard this deal and wondering what it means. It's called first look because BBC as a publisher will say, okay, first look within this advertiser if he is willing to pay this agreed upon price. If yes, then sell it to him. If not, then the inventory will be sold in open auction, and the publisher will give you a preference. That's why before it was called a preferred deal as well. So it's the same thing. First look preferred deal is now called non-guaranteed fixed inventory. Okay, so that's what publishers do. They first give preference to programmatic guaranteed while selling their inventory. If they have anything left, then they give preference to non-guaranteed fixed inventory deals. Now if they still have something left, what advertisers can do is they can set up non-guaranteed auction deals with publishers. Now how it works is BBC as a publisher can set up a non-guaranteed auction with, let's say, 10 advertisers, let's say Apple, Samsung, me, or any other agencies, and they'll tell guys, look, we have this inventory left. What we'll do is, if we are not able to sell any of this through programmatic guaranteed or non-guaranteed fixed inventory, we will give preference to you guys as well. So they will create an inventory package and they will set up a deal with, let's say, 10 different advertisers and agencies. So it's like a non-guaranteed fixed inventory, preference is given to one particular advertiser, but in this case they can give preference to all the advertisers and agencies. They have set up a non-guaranteed auction deal. So it's like BBC sells some of the inventory directly to some advertisers, which is programmatic guaranteed, and then they sell some of the inventory, leftover inventory, to individual advertisers where they give them a preference. If they still have inventory left, they set up non-guaranteed auction deals with, let's say, 10, 20, 30 advertisers and tell them only you will be eligible to buy this inventory. Now in this case, what you have to understand is there is again no contracted impressions, but this deal is not one-to-one, it's one to few. Few can be 2, 10, 15, 30, whatever the publisher wants. So it's like they give preference to certain advertisers. Let's say BBC does not want to show any advertisers ad on their homepage. So whatever left inventory they have on their homepage, they'll create an inventory package and sell it as a non-guaranteed auction to 10 or 15 advertisers of their choice, let's say some big advertisers. So this type of deal was before called private marketplace, PMP. You might have heard this name, PMP, or private marketplace before. Now if BBC.com still has some inventory left, let's say out of 100 million they sold 30 as programmatic guaranteed, 20 as non-guaranteed fixed inventory, and they are expecting, let's say, 30 more from non-guaranteed auction. So whatever inventory is unsold, that will be sold in open auction or RTB. For example, if I directly create a campaign and line item in DV360 and I choose my ad this line item should target category news, or even I could directly target this URL in my campaign without BBC knowing. So if there is any of the inventory unsold in these three types of deals, there is a chance that my campaign or line item will serve on bbc.com through open auction or RTB, which is real-time bidding. So I hope this is clear, guys. It's very important to understand these types before we set up the deals. Now just to reiterate what we discussed, I'll tell you how it works with publishers, these three types, so that you understand, because types of deals can be easily understood only if you think like a publisher. Now before this, guys, I want you to know that this particular course is also selling on Udemy for I think $19 or $29, but that's not my only motive to create money from the content. I also want to help students. That's why I also, at the same time of Udemy, I upload it on YouTube as well, if someone does not want to pay for the course, but just to give us more motivation to come up with more free content and better content for you guys. I would request you to like or comment on the videos if you find these helpful, and if you have not subscribed, also please subscribe to my channel. It's free and you can always change your mind and unsubscribe to my channel. Okay, so it's the same thing as discussed. In programmatic guaranteed, a publisher will say, I will guarantee you that I will deliver a fixed number of impressions on my inventory and you will have to pay a total amount, which is X, a fixed amount. Now in non-guaranteed fixed inventory type, what a publisher primarily says is, I will not guarantee you on number of impressions. However, if you bid with X CPM, if I don't have a guarantee deal, you will get the preference before anyone else. And in third type, which is non-guaranteed auction, the publisher says, I will not guarantee you a number of impressions. However, if you bid with X CPM, which is also called floor price, it's very important to know, or higher, I will sell the inventory to highest bidder in this auction. Now, what happens in non-guaranteed auction is there is usually a floor price which the publisher sets up. So when they set up a deal with 10 different advertisers, what they say is you have to always bid above the floor price. Let's say they set the floor price at $4. Now there are 10 advertisers who have set up non-guaranteed auction deals with this publisher. Now all of them will have to bid above $4. If you bid below $4, you will, even if there's no one else bidding for this inventory, you will not get that impression. But above $4, if there are 10 advertisers bidding, whoever is bidding the highest will serve the impression on their website. That's how non-guaranteed auction works. So that's about what a deal is in DV360 and what are the different types of deals. I hope this is clear, guys. In the next videos, we
कितने तरह का डील है? अब नेक्स्ट वीक चला ही जाएगा लगता है, क्योंकि सैटरडे इसको ख़त्म करने का संडे से हम लोग का उसके बाद मार्केट प्लेस है, डील सेटअप है, नेटिव ऐड, रिच मीडिया ऐड है, बस और कुछ नहीं, 3 वीडियो और शो करेंगे। उसके बाद तुम लोग का ई कॉमर्स,
सर नेक्स्ट संडे सिर्फ ई-कॉमर्स में ही देना है ना आपको?
हाँ
ई-কমার্সের মধ্যেও তো সিআরওর একটা পার্ট ছোট মতো আছে।
হ্যাঁ, ই কমার্স সিআর ওটা অ্যাড করতে পারো, আর সিআরও আলাদাও আছে পুরো।